My wife wants a divorce, but I don't. Guys, if you're in that position where you want to save your marriage and she's telling you it's over, this is the one you're going to want to pay attention to because I'm going to be getting into some really key critical details. Let's dig in. Hey guys, Jeremy here, your mindset mastery and peak performance relationship guy, and this is a touchy subject. This can get so messy so fast. So many guys are just slaughtered by this whole entire dynamic of she wants a divorce and I want to save my marriage. What do I do? So what I can tell you though is I have helped guys walk this back and go from the brink of divorce to actually making love again within as little as 12 days. Now I can't say that's going to happen for you necessarily, but what I can say is I'm going to give you a couple of really key ideas that are going to help you move forward. We're going to talk first about why this is happening and where things went wrong to get you to this point. It didn't just happen out of the blue, my friends. The second thing we're going to talk about is the biggest mistakes that guys make trying to recover their marriages. And then finally, you want to stick around to the end. I have a resource for you that's going to help you to reignite the passion and reignite the communication. Plus, I'm going to give you my number one most important tool, tip, technique, strategy thing to start turning this boat around. So let's get ready, guys, and let's dig in. Okay, guys, so the first thing is we're going to walk this back. So you've already been told my wife wants a divorce, and you're like, I don't want to make that happen. I don't want to let that happen. So why are you in this situation? There's really three major buckets, major factors that have driven us to this situation. Number one is she hasn't been happy for a long time, and she's tried lots of different things to make things change, and she's tired. And so she's done with all of this effort, all of the little things that she's done to try to make your marriage more interesting, make it more engaging, make it more fulfilling for her. And she's done. D-U-N, like over it, he's never gonna, I'm out, and she's gonna do whatever it takes to actually vilify you, make you the bad guy to protect her own sense of self, and so that she can exit with a clean conscience. Because maybe you're a really awesome guy, and she's just like fatigued and done, so she has to make you the bad guy. Okay. The other part of this is maybe you guys have had some conversations about this. You've gone to marriage counseling, you've worked with a coach of some sort or consulting, read books, done courses. You've done a variety of activities, and time again, things might improve for a little while, but then they go back down again. And that yo-yo experience on her side, she's tired of it. She has the feeling like you are never going to change. So she's done. She's just going to find somebody new and start all over again. And another thing to consider is this could be a form of a test where she wants to see if you're going to fight for the relationship and fight for her love. I did a clip on this called My Wife Wants a Divorce Out of the Blue, so make sure you check that out as well. The third reason that we are where we are in this moment is that she may have some rules that are being violated. And the hard part with this is we often don't realize our rules are being violated. Sometimes when you first get married, you have an expectation. Husband is supposed to XYZ. Wife is supposed to PDQ. And we just kind of grew up with these blueprints of what it meant to be a husband, what it meant to be a wife, and maybe never actually like put those down on paper and really said, this is what I need you to do for me to thrive, is I need you to show up this way. And so because of that information not being brought to consciousness, there may be unconscious rules that they're just not okay with her, and she doesn't know how to articulate it. She doesn't know how to voice it. She just thinks, well, all husbands are like that, and I'm not okay with that, so I'm out. Or all wives have to be this, but that's not who I am, and he expects me to blah, blah, blah. I'm out. You really got to dig in on those to find out what's really happening. Is the source of her pain and her frustration and her anger, is it really what she thinks it is? Or is it the meaning that she's giving to the different behaviors and the different patterns between the two of you? Because maybe she's thinking, well, I got married and then, well, I'm going to have a kid. Well, then I have to stay home, but I want to have a career and I can't do both of those things. So it's better if I'm just a single woman and I can just handle it. And that's how she's going to drive. But again, if this is unconscious, it's not going to be an easy conversation. There's maybe going to be some yelling. Maybe there's going to be a lot of tears. And there's going to be some fights to try and pull out what's going on beneath the surface to what her needs truly are. Because then we can find out, oh, you are changeable. You are adaptable. Because you're thinking, if there's not a raging, burning fire between the two of us, everything is fine. Well, she hasn't said anything to me in like 2 weeks. It's been great. She's been so. And it's like, dude, that's called the silent treatment. And she's mad at you. You need to do something. And then I have guys that are like, oh, it's been like that for 6 months or a year. So, first step, we got to unpack why are you in this situation? We got to understand that first. Okay, so now we've talked about why this happens, and maybe you even have some ideas on how you got into this situation. The next step is then, okay, well, yeah, I know I have a problem. I'm trying to fix it, man. I'm trying to make it better, dude. I mean, come on. So let's dig in on that just for a second, okay? Now, some of the mistakes that guys make, number one is they think, well, I've tried everything. I've done everything that there possibly is to do. And I'm like, well, you haven't because you haven't talked to me. So I know you haven't done everything. You may have done a book, a course, a counselor. I had a couple I worked with. They had been through 4 different marriage counselors over 11 years. And in that whole entire time, nobody had ever introduced the idea that masculine and feminine communicate in different channels. And that was eye-opening for the two of them to realize they were mapped differently than how society expects. And once I got them to start understanding the forms of communication they were using, everything changed. And the tension went down, and the love and the admiration came back. So don't tell me you've done everything. You've done everything you know to do. That's fine. There's more to go. Get with an expert. Get with somebody who is ahead of you and has more strategies and has more games you could play. The second thing we get it wrong when we're trying to recover a relationship is taking on all the blame, taking on all the fault, scapegoating ourselves, dying all over the stage, kicking ourselves, and I'm so stupid, and I'm so pathetic, and I'm the worst ever, and we just tear ourselves apart. And when you're busy doing that, how can she love and respect that as she sees you tearing yourself apart? And to be fair, it's probably not a one-sided street. It's probably both of you did some things that could have been handled in different ways. So you taking the ownership of everything, it's not fair and it's not realistic. And so she's going to have a hard time trusting your judgment while you're emotionally tilting at windmills and dying all over the stage. The other opposite side of this is taking none of the blame and throwing it all on her, and it's her fault. And if she only did this and she never does that, and why doesn't she do this? And oh, I come home and I expect and dot, dot, dot. Both of these problems, when we start playing the fault, blame, guilt, shame, all it ends up doing is mind reading and projecting. You're just throwing stuff at each other to try and assuage yourself, try to make yourself feel better in the moment. And is that really what you want? Do you want to be right? Or do you want to have a loving marriage? Because you've really got to make that decision. What is your ultimate goal here? Yes, we can take some responsibility, ability to choose your response. We can take some responsibility about how we got here, but throwing the fault blame stuff on either side is never going to work. And then the fourth problem is when you start to make changes, you start to do things, then she feels it's not real. It's disingenuous. This is just you're just doing this to manipulate me to try to get things to be back together. Well, is it working? That's beside the point. How dare you? Like, she doesn't want to feel like you're manipulating her, controlling her, like you're just running game to get what you want and not genuinely in it to win it with her as an equal partner, right? The secret to that, the cure to that, I'll give you in just a minute. But I have a client who is in this boat right now. He loves his wife, she loves him, but things have cooled massively between the two of them, and she's wounded and hurt, and he doesn't know how to heal her right this second. So everything he's ever tried, she tells him, well, I want you to be spontaneous. But at the same time, anything he tries to plan, anything he tries to ask her, well, you're just trying to manipulate me. You're just trying to, see, he's trying to change between the two of them. Remember how I said you don't change? He's trying to change. But what she's giving him is resistance. What she's telling him is it doesn't feel genuine to her, and her defenses are up. So that is a test. Do you really love me? Are you really going to break through my defenses to get to my heart? Because I don't know that you can. I don't know that I want you to right this moment. So his job is cut out ahead of him, and he's got to take none of it personal and truly make her the priority. So working with him, it's a little bit of a complex situation, but working for you, let me give you the number one thing that's going to start turning the ship between you and your partner. But before I do that, I want to make sure, stick around to the very end. I have a guide for you that's going to help you to reignite the passion in your relationship, start to open that communication up, and really start to get that rapport going between you and your wife, not ex-wife yet, but your wife, start getting that going. You can find that in the comments down below. It's the first one pinned, or it's in the description. So make sure you check that out. And the last thing that I want to tell you is this. For you to turn this relationship around, the number one secret, the number one superpower is figuring out what got you and your wife together in the first place, and how can you do three things. How can you love each other? How can you respect each other? But the most important, how can you admire each other? Because when you're admiring her from a genuine place, not blowing smoke up her butt to kiss it, but you genuinely respect who and what she is, it begins to change how she shows up with you. Because she's going to test you, my friend. She's going to this isn't real. You're full of crap. You're just saying that. She's going to do everything she can to deflate you, to push you off target. Because then when you give up or you get angry, then she's like, see, I knew this wasn't real. So you've got to figure out, to win her heart back, you've really got to make understanding her, respecting her, admiring her from a genuine place. Because when you begin to do that, you may actually come to the place and say, you know what? This relationship should end and we don't belong together because you'd be so much better there. Or you come to the other realization, oh my God, this woman, I cannot imagine my life without her. She's changed me and challenged me in so many ways. And I want to stand next to that fire. I want those tests. I want that challenge because it lights my soul. And if you can approach with that level of energy and intensity and commitment, then the woman of your dreams will open to you. If it's her or another, I don't know. But I can tell you, you go after her fire in her heart and her soul with an equal passion, life transforms, marriage transforms. And it doesn't take weeks and months and years. It can literally take days if you know how to approach and you know how to connect. So please make sure, get my Reignite Your Passion cheat sheet. It's going to help you so much. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. You freaking rock. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Turn on the bell for notifications. I'll see you again soon. We have videos coming out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Bye.